When it comes to righteous selection, Yah makes his choices and never thinks of consulting us or asking for our vote or opinion. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day 4 of Bamidbar in the wilderness. Let's go now to Bamidbar, Numbers, chapter number 3, verse 1 and following says, "And these are the generations of Aaron and Moshe, when Yahweh spoke with Moshe on Mount Sinai. And these are the names of the sons of Aaron, Nadav, the firstborn, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the anointed priest, whom he ordained to act as priest. Nadav and Abihu died before Yahweh when they brought strange fire before Yahweh in the wilderness of Sinai, and they had no children. So Eleazar and Ithamar acted as priests in the presence of Aaron their father." What follows then is about the selection of the house of Levi to be involved in the priesthood and in the taking care of the things of the tabernacle. What the verse began saying was, these are the generations of Aaron and Moshe. Moshe's two sons are not mentioned. The way that we read this is that the sons of Aaron are the generations of Moshe, although Aaron is the father. What is the Torah saying here? Well, Moshe had two sons, Gershon, taken from the word ger, as a stranger or foreigner. And when he named this oldest son, he said, "I was a stranger in a foreign land." The second son, Eleazar, according to English translations, from the idea of El is my help, saying, "The El of my father helped me and saved me from the sword of Pharaoh." Now, his two sons, we're not told that they were evil. We're not told that they were good for nothings, that they had no value or skill or any ability. Well, let's consider this. If the sons of Moshe had followed in their father's footsteps, for example, instead of Yehoshua taking Israel into the land, the eldest son of Moshe, Gershon, would have done so. Then Gershon's son would have risen to that same role after his passing. Then we would have established a sovereign lineage for Israel. But Yah never intended for Israel to be led primarily by a king. Matter of fact, it was seen as an acquiescing of sorts to the will and the desire of Israel for a king in the days where Samuel chose Shaul. So Yah gave to them their request because they wanted to be like the nations that were around them. Yah's desire has never been for a monarchy, but rather a theocracy. That is, that righteous leaderships through the priesthood and through the prophets would then rule and reign over Israel and guide his people. When you muddy the attempts of Yah to orchestrate what it is that he desires for his people by including sovereign governments, then the waters are indeed messy. Currently, at the time of this recording, there are a lot of political maneuvers and deals and accusations and power plays and military efforts all taking place in the Middle East, primarily focusing on Israel. The Arab nations around Israel are basically strong-arming things and saying, unless there is a Palestinian state, deals are off. So when the U.S. goes in and tries to boost our current economy, working deals, then it's all about how things relate to Israel. Make no mistake about it, Yah is going to guard the land and its people. He's going to promote them. And when the nations of the earth align themselves against her, Yah will stand and defend Israel and wreak havoc on those nations. It would be wise. It would be exceptionally wise for governmental leaders to pay attention to this. They rarely do. Now back to the subject at hand, and forgive my political analysis. So when it comes to selecting who he's going to use and how he's going to use them, Yah chooses. And he chooses, as he's told Samuel, concerning the choosing of David or David. He said, man looks on the outside, but I look on the heart. So evidently, there were some heart issues of some sort for which Yah overlooked or bypassed, chose not to select the sons of Moshe. Instead, the primary leadership was to go through the sons of Aaron, two of which didn't survive the first cut. Yah made the selection. He didn't ask Moshe. He didn't ask Aaron. He just did it. What follows in this chapter then is the assigning of duties to the sons or the tribes of Levi, so that the Kohathites would carry the most set-apart articles, the Ark of the Covenant, the table of showbread, the altars, the menorah, etc., that the sons of Merari would carry the heavy things, the timbers and the bars and the sockets, and then the Gershonites would come in and carry all the tapestries and the ropes and cords and those things. So everyone had an assignment according to what it is that Yah determined. Yah just arbitrarily said, this is the way it's going to be. I don't know that any of these particular tribal members had anything to offer. Maybe they were all privileged to be just a part. Maybe there were a few that grumbled and said, I don't know why I have to do this. Why is it that my cousin in the other tribe gets to do the other work? I wish I could do that. You know human nature. You know how we're going to grumble. This leads us to another point. Rav Shaul said to those in Corinth, not many of you were wise, and not many of you were of noble birth, and not many of you were advanced, but Yah has chosen the foolish to confound the wise. You should be familiar with the text that I'm referencing here. Yah does not look upon necessarily even our skill set. I dare say that he will call us to do things that we feel ill-equipped and without knowledge of understanding of how to perform, but he will divinely enable us by his anointing, so that then it's not an applause about, man, they just can do it just a phenomenal job. They're so gifted in that, as if referencing how that they were trained, how that they went to some school and acquired the ability of. Yah has the ability to raise up those who feel the most insignificant, the most unqualified. And if that's how you feel, everybody does everything so much better than I do. I'm just a wallflower. I'm just so happy just to stand in the room with all you great people. Prepare yourself. Get you a helmet, put on some knee pads, buckle up. You're probably about ready to be selected and chosen for a role that you would have never imagined. Some of you will be found in jobs doing things that you feel like, I don't know how I got this job, and I don't know why they promoted me here. But there you'll be, doing what you don't know how to do, learning and acquiring an ability that doesn't come out of your brain, it comes out of your spirit. Yes, study, show yourself approved, acquire knowledge, gain wisdom, but build your spirit. Build up the man or the woman on the inside. That is how Yah qualifies us to do what we're not qualified to do. You are going to be selected. Get ready. and let's go to work for the kingdom. And I'll see you again tomorrow. So then, shalom.